This is Al Jazeera breaking news just coming out. Sad breaking news out of Gaza, where Al Jazeera journalist Anas al-Sharif has just been killed in what appears to be a targeted Israeli strike. All of this according to the director of the Al-Shifa hospital. Anas was killed after a tent for journalists was hit outside the main gate of the hospital. The well-known Al Jazeera correspondent reported extensively from northern Gaza. The 28-year-old was a key source of news from Gaza City and the north for international audiences since Israel's war on the Strip began some 22 months ago. Al Jazeera Media Network had recently denounced the Israeli military for what it called a campaign of incitement against Anas al-Sharif. Al-Sharif was one of the journalists the Israeli military accused of being a member of Hamas's military wing. The UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese, has earlier denounced serious threats against the Al Jazeera journalist by the Israeli army. And what's more is the Council for the Protection of Journalists had also been concerned about his safety. Hani Mahmoud is on the phone from Gaza City. Hani, what do we know?
This is perhaps the hardest thing I'm reporting about for the past 22 months. I'm not far from the Shifa hospital, just one block away, and I could hear the massive explosion that took place in the past half an hour or so near Shifa hospital. I could see it when it lit up the sky, and just within moments the news circulated was the journalist stand at the main gate of the Shifa hospital. At this particular time of the night, it calmed down. All the journalists gathered in one area, try to either talk to each other, help each other to survive these conditions. When a drone strike hit the tent, killing Anas al-Sharif and his colleague Muhammad Qurata. Both are correspondents of Al Jazeera Arabic on the ground. They've been reporting on the atrocities of the Israeli military, the airstrikes, the enforced starvation and dehydration over these past months. It's important to highlight this attack just a week after an Israeli military official directly accused Anas and directly ran a campaign of incitement on Al Jazeera and correspondents on the ground because of their work, because of their relentless reporting on the starvation and the famine and the malnutrition, because they're bringing the truth to the screen for everyone. And just a week after that statement was made by a prominent Israeli military official, it got translated on the ground practically by targeting this tent and killing two of the most prominent journalists on the ground. Been doing reports on everything that happened from the opening weeks of this genocide till today, the last report that was done today on the ongoing enforced starvation and dehydration and the famine that is spreading everywhere across the Gaza Strip. And Muhammad and many other people who were in the tent, we were literally looking at footage that were circulating of bodies scattered in the area, of people who took care of logistics, of coordinators on the ground, drivers who were at the site when the attack happened.
Hani, was this a deliberate targeting, given what we know on the ground? He himself, Anas al-Sharif, said that he was being targeted by an Israeli smear campaign, and indeed the IDF's Arabic spokesman, Avichai Adres, stepped up his online attacks in recent days. In fact, the Council for the Protection of Journalists said that they believed that the journalist himself thought that this was all a precursor to his assassination.
It was deliberate, it was intentional, it was directed to suppress voices that raise criticism of what's going on, of criticism of the actions on the ground, of the genocidal act on the ground. This is one of Israel's most oppressive tools to suppress all these voices of the criticism on the ground, because the one thing that hurt the most, the one thing that turned the world's attention onto the crime of the Israeli military, of the malnutrition, of the starvation, of the indiscriminate bombardment of the Strip, was done on the ground because of Al Jazeera Network on the ground through its relentless reporting. It brought the attention of the whole entire world to these ongoing crimes. The Israeli military has been running this smear campaign against Anas and his colleagues, and fighting campaign for the past week. We've seen it. We were concerned about it. We thought it was a red flag because, once the Israeli military start to talk about this, they were about to do something, and they never failed to do it, and they did it again. And fighting campaign for the past week. We've seen it. We were concerned about it. We thought it was a red flag because, once the Israeli military start to talk about this, they were about to do something, and they never failed to do it, and they did it. And fighting campaign for the past week. We've seen it. We were concerned about it. We thought it was a red flag because, once the Israeli military start to talk about this, they were about to do something, and they never failed to do it, and they did it, and it killed journalists. And this is not the first.
That is their modus operandi, so to speak, or that is their major tool that they use, all right, before they come out and persecute, before they they go about their true actions. Yeah, that is the main thing they do. They make sure and demonize you and speak ill of you and what have you, so forth, bring you out in this light, in this bad light, so to speak. Yeah? And speak lies against you and all these things so that they could justify in going about their actions in persecuting you, bringing death upon you. But let's continue.
And we've seen journalists being the main target of the Israeli military. It's like they're being punished for the work they are doing, for the honest work that they are doing, for just giving the truth as it is, as raw as it is, bringing it to the screen. That's something that the Israeli military, its political leadership, do not like, because it changes a lot of the narrative. It changes of what's going on, how you perceive things on the ground. So it's coupled with not just the smear campaign and the incitement campaign against Al Jazeera and its correspondents on the ground, but it's also directed to anyone who dares to raise their voice and to criticize all the acts on the ground, the racist acts and the genocidal acts on the ground.
Hani, it's the IDF saying in recent weeks that what Al-Sharif was really reporting on was intellectual propaganda. They also said that he was part of a false Hamas campaign on starvation as well. And let's not forget that this man, this reporter, this late reporter, saw his own father being killed in December 2023 as well in an Israeli airstrike on his home in Jabalia.
This is the easiest way to justify the killing of everyone across the Gaza Strip. The accusations are ready, the labels are ready, in order to justify something as horrendous as targeting journalists. The killing of everyone across the Gaza Strip. The accusations are ready, the labels are ready, in order to justify something as horrendous as targeting journalists. The killing of everyone across the Gaza Strip. The accusations are ready, the labels are ready, in order to justify something as horrendous as targeting journalists. The labels are ready to describe them as militants, to describe them as members of one group or the other. It's all done in.
And this is the basis for this edification, in which we are going to get into. All right, because the same channels that they've been using, all right, that they are using pursuant to these journalists and what have you, so forth, is the same channels that they are going to use for us, the prophets. All right, is the same channels, the linking us to terrorist groups and calling us, how to say it how, domestic terrorists and whatnot so forth. And linking us with this and labeling us with that and and doing the false flags and what have you so forth and blaming it on us and what have you so forth, so that they could have their means justified in coming out against us. Yeah, let's continue. That's the reason why I keep on repeating certain things that this man have been, certain things that this man had said. That's the reason why I keep on repeating the speeches, keep on rewinding it, rewinding it to let that sink in your head. Let that sink in your head. But anyhow,
in order to justify the ongoing deliberate killing of everyone, including the journalists. So this is not something new to us. We've seen it over the past 22 months. Close to 200 journalists have been killed, and it's not a surprise. Every time a journalist is attacked or killed, or his family is attacked or killed, we've seen the same exact narrative that goes on with the same mechanism of justifying how, because they are associated or they're linked to some sort of group or the other, without offering any substantial evidence whatsoever. The fact that justifying how, because they are associated or they're linked to some sort of group or the other, without offering any substantial evidence whatsoever. The fact justifying how, because they are associated or they're linked to some sort of group or the other, without offering any substantial evidence whatsoever. The fact that every time the Israeli military fails to provide any substantial evidence, apart from just...
Yes. This is the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth. This man is speaking the truth. All right? They call a spade, they call a shovel. All right? This man is speaking the truth. All right? They will link you and associate you with whatever they deem that is bad or whatever the case may be, and they have little to no proof. This is the so-called white man for you. All right, this is the so-called white man for you. They will have little to no proof at all. A matter of fact, no evidence at all. They will conjure some sort of evidence, and what have you so forth. All right. In order to link you and associate you with, with whatever, all right, that they are fighting against or, coming up against, and persecuting and whatnot, so forth. In order for justify them bringing death, raining death upon you. This is the so-called white man for you. All right? And this is what they do. This is what they do. But anyhow.
Going on to a screen and record a statement and throwing accusations without any substantial evidence.
Yeah. Same thing just as with us. Same thing just as with us. The Hebrew Israelites, the prophets, same thing. They will go out on the media because they have them. They will go out on the media outlets, to control the narrative and make the statements, make the false accusations, and the propaganda, and keep on. And the thing is, they will keep on keeping at it on a daily basis, on the media and whatnot, so forth, to purport you in this negative manner, negative way. All right, so that they could have the justification. All right, all because why? All because you are standing for the truth. This is what it is all about, all because you are standing for the truth and exposing them for the wicked that they are, the liars that they are, the murderers. Yeah, the murderers that they are.
It's just very telling into how this army is operating, and let alone what it's doing with everyone else, including civilians. And and international organization members or medical staff. The one thing that we are certain about is there's no limit to the ongoing killing. There's no limit to the target banks of the Israeli military. When you look at the categories of victims, when you see little children are torn apart, and you see adults also being torn apart, I mean, finding a justification is just so minimal in the face of this brutality.
Hani, thank you so much, Hani Mahmoud.
Anyhow, this is your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad, saying Kal Halayam La Alahayanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai. Alright, double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Double salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching the truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so no more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is his sisters. So the title of this edification is, if they can kill journalists, if they can not kill, if they can murder journalists, who's to say they wouldn't murder us, the prophets? If they can murder journalists, who's to say they wouldn't murder us, the prophets? Alright? This is what it is. This is what it is. Okay? And they would not stop. They would not stop until Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put a stop to them. Right? They will not stop until Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put a stop to them. But the key points, if you all had listened, because I make sure and repeat it 2 and 3 times. This is the same thing, the same map, the same road map that they're using, all right, to kill these journalists and whatnot, is the same thing the same thing they're gonna do with us. Before they kill that man, before they had killed that man, before they had assassinated, before they had murdered that man, let's use the correct term. Before they murdered that man, what did they do? They use their media and whatnot so forth, to link this man to Hamas and what have you so forth, and they speak the propaganda against him and whatnot so forth. He's affiliated with Hamas, he's a terrorist, he's a this, he's a that, he's a the other, and whatnot so forth. And the thing is, they just say what they say, and the people has to go with that. All right, no evidence was brought, no evidence was found and being brought forth, and what have you so forth. You understand? And before you know it, that was the road paved. They use the media to demonize and whatnot so forth. So that will be the road paved in order for them to carry out their murder. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing that they're going to do with us, the prophets. It's the same thing. All right? They're going to accuse us of being, DTs. You all know what we mean by that. All right? They're going to affiliate us with they're going to affiliate us with whatever black militant group and all these nonsense, and affiliate us with Islam and what have you so forth, and go about with their campaign in killing the prophets. You understand? And killing the prophets and killing those that fear and serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright? The scripture says it out. The scripture says it out. Let's take a look at 2 Ezra, chapter 16, And verse 68, Shecaniah 16:68, it reads, For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that had consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is what this thing is coming to. Yeah, this is what this thing is coming to. All right? Because remember, these people are being exposed and exposed on a high level. And this is why they're killing all these journalists. This is why they banned Al Jazeera, all right, and other news agency, that is actually reporting the truth of what is actually taking place. All right, the wicked atrocities that is actually taking place over there in Gaza, and they would have their control media. All right, like your CNN and your Fox News and your ABC and your CBN and what have you, so forth. These news agency that is actually owned by them. Okay, that is actually owned by them, so that they could control the narrative and put themselves in a good light. That they are actually fighting evil and whatever. Now, I'm not saying I'm not rooting for Hamas. Let me get that straight. I'm not rooting for Hamas. All right. I'm not rooting for both sides. But what we are all about here is speaking the truth and speaking the truth that we are actually seeing. That we are actually seeing. All right. This is what it is all about here. And this is why we, the prophets, is going to be persecuted. All right? Along with those truth seekers and whatnot, so forth. Yeah, they too gonna go through some serious hell too. All right? But the main concern is of the prophets, the true prophets, all right, of the nation of Israel, the true nation of Israel, the Israelites. You understand? So it says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. This is what it is, man. This is what it is. This is what is coming up. You understand? This is what is coming up. And the reason why we, the prophets, is going to be persecuted is because we are just speaking the truth. All right, we are speaking the truth. We are bringing out the truth. We are showing the truth. All right, we're dealing with the truth as the truth should be dealt with. This is what you have to understand. You know, this is what it is all about. You understand? Because this is what they hate. They hate that for the fact that the truth about what they really are about. They hate the fact that the truth is coming out of who they truly are and what they are about. What is their agenda? Do you understand? And this is the reason why. This is the reason why they're going to come up against us. That's why the scripture says, pursuant to Daniel chapter 12, all right, Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1, where it reads, And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time, and that time, all right, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. You understand? So there's a time that is coming that the earth has never seen, all right, where much death and mayhem and anarchy and chaos trouble, Jacob's trouble that is about to take place upon the face of the earth, that Michael himself would have to come along with Yahushua to bring deliverance unto the elect. You understand? Because these people will stop at nothing. They will stop at nothing just to persecute the children of the Lord. All right? Especially the prophets. Because why? The prophets is bringing out the truth. What you feel that man was killed for? Because he was pushing for the truth. He was actually letting you know, letting the world know what is actually taking place in Gaza. So what you feel they're going to murder us for? Because we are letting the world know who are the Edomites, who are the wicked that the Bible speaks of, who the Most High hates. We are exposing them pursuant to the wickedness that they have been doing from ever since their existence, from since in the garden till now. We are exposing them. They are being exposed. And this is the reason why they are going to come at us to murder us. That's why when I go to Jeremiah chapter 49 and 10, Jeremiah chapter 49 and 10, yeah, I'll go straight to the point where it reads, "But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not," which means what? He is going to be destroyed. All right? The Lord is exposing this man on a high level. That's the reason why when I go to Revelation 12 and 12, Revelation 12 and verse 12, yeah, Revelation 12 and 12, where it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea," yeah, "and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time," because he is being exposed on a high level. These people are being exposed on a mighty high level that they can't control. So what's next? What's left for them? Where's the only solution? Where's the only solution? The only solution for them is to just murder everybody and done. I'm not going to say kill. I'm going to say murder, because that's who they are. That's what they do. That's what they are perfected in murdering. That's what these Edomites, these so-called white people, these Ish people especially, those people in the land that claim say they are the people but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, all right? These people are perfectionists in murdering. That's what they are. That's what they are. And before they murder you, they speak ill against you, they demonize you, and what have you. So for there's something that elder Amawan Ibad, he was talking about the 4 Ds, where they dismiss. I can't remember how that is going on, boy. It's a long time I haven't brought out that, but one was dismiss. I know the last 2 was demonization and then destroy. Yeah, dismiss. I think it's dismiss, disregard, you dismiss, disregard, demonize, you know, and after the demonization, is that then comes the destruction, which is the murdering, the 4Ds. Yeah, the dismiss you. You know, no study here, wherever, you know, forget about that. They don't know what they're speaking about and whatnot. They are not truthful. They are not this. They are not that. Then the disregard. You know, hey, you know, you care less about what they have to say. We don't care about what they have to say against us and whatnot, so forth. And then they demonize. When they find, you know, you're being like a picker in the foot, you know. Or a broken piece of glass in the foot that they just cannot get out. You know, is an annoyance to them because of the truth. Yeah, they start to demonize you. All right, go out on the media on the media outlets and whatnot and bring about a smear campaign and a demonizing campaign. All right, because why? They are getting ready. They are actually getting ready to come out and destroy, come out and murder you. This is it. This is it. This is the white man for you. And this is why they're going to come down with great wrath, because they cannot control the narrative. It is too much. Wait, this is why this is one of the main reasons why they're all about having great control over the internet. They needs to, they have to, must have bound to have control over the internet. And they're coming with the social credit score system and all these things. This is the main reason why. Because they want to have full control of what you say, what you hear, what you see. They want to have full control of it. And if they cannot have full control over it, you understand, it's for them it's like a losing battle. That's the reason why that man was murdered. That's the reason why. All because he was bringing out the truth. That's why when I go to Isaiah, when I go to Isaiah 29, Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 19 or 20, Isaiah 29 and 20, where it reads, "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word." Yeah, that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him, that reprove it in the gate and turn aside the just for a thing for naught. This is the reason why they're going to come up against us, to murder us, because of the conversations that we are keeping. All right, pursuant to the truth, pursuant to what they are actually doing. That's why when you go to Psalms, let's take a look at that. Psalms 37 and 14. Psalms 37 and 14, where it reads, "The wicked, the wicked have drawn out the sword. Yeah, the wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay, to murder, such as be of upright conversation." This is what it is with these devils. They're all about murdering. All right, because why? They can't stand the fact that the truth of their true nature, of who they truly are and what they are about, is being brought to the light, is being brought forth. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bow shall be broken. Yeah? A little that a righteous man's heart is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. Yeah? This is what is going to come to them. They're going to be brought down. Yeah, they're going to be brought down. This is where it is. This man is just a perfect example. That journalist, I forget his name, all right, but he is a perfect example of what is really coming for us, the prophets. All right? That man is a perfect example. When I go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 shows it without the shadow of a doubt. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, I won't read the whole thing. I will read from verse 12. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 12. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and 12, it reads, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous. This is what the wicked is saying. This is what Esau is saying. This is what the elites, all right, the elites, this is what they are saying. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. All right, because we are not for what they stand for, the transhumanism, and you know, that's basically wickedness, the alphabet lifestyle that they promote, right? Everything that is just against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, in which they try to educate the people into, all right, we are totally against it. Let me just put it in that. Let's put it in that way, and they despise us for it. All right, they despise us for it. He professed to have the knowledge of Yahweh, and he called himself the child of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He was made to reprove our thoughts. Yeah. This is why we are exposing you all. All right? He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold. For his life is not like other men's, his ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits, and that is what you all are. You all are counterfeits. You Amalekites over there in the land, you all are counterfeits. He abstained from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounced the end of the just to be blessed, and making his boast that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is his father. But watch them. Verse 17. Let us see if his words be true. Yeah? Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the son of the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he will help him and deliver him from the hands of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture. This is what they are actually thinking towards us, yeah? Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, by his own saying he shall be respected. Yeah? This is what I'm saying. If they could do that to that journalist, who's to say they wouldn't do it to us? All right? Such things they did imagine and deceive, and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them. As for the mysteries of Yahweh, they know them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for blameless souls. For Yahweh created man to be immortal, all right, which is Israel, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. All right? They're going to come at us, and come at us heavy and hard. All because why? We are bringing out this truth. You understand? They're going to come at us heavy and hard. Only because of the truth. All right? They're going to lie and speak all demonizing lies against us and what have you, so forth. Just to justify themselves and coming at us. As the scripture speaks about what? The accuser of the brethren. A matter of fact, let's go to that. Let's go to that, which is Revelation. Revelation 12, going back to Revelation 12, start at verse 9, Revelation 12 and 9, where it reads, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, that old serpent, all right, which is Esau Edom, all right, called the devil, because he's what? He's a slanderer, he's a false accuser, and Satan, he's the physical counterpart of the spiritual being Satan. They have the seed of Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. All right, which is what? His followers. Okay? All right? And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power, the power of his Mashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. All right? There's what it is. All right? Because this man is going to falsely accuse us, use all his technology and whatnot, his AI and all these things, you understand, to build a case against us, a false case against us, all right? Just as they did with that reporter. They built a false case with no evidence at all. No evidence. Brought forth no evidence. All they just say is he linked with Hamas and he's a part of Hamas and what have you, so forth, and that's that. And they murder him. What is the evidence? You know, what is the exhibit? Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, Exhibit D, Exhibit. They brought forth no sort of evidence. They just say what they say, and the people have to go with what they say. And it's the same thing as with us. They're going to say that we are affiliated with this group and affiliated with that group and affiliated with the other group and whatnot, so forth, and build up a false case and whatnot, so forth. All right? And the people will have to go, the masses will have to go with that, and the masses will believe. The masses will believe, because remember, at the end of it all, if we are of the world would have loved his own, right? We are not of the world. So the masses will believe, and the masses will justify what the masses will understand their justification in our persecution being performed by them. You understand? But Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, he has the last say. And this is what they fail to realize. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, he has the last say. You see, we have to understand who it is we coming up against. We as a people, we have to really and truly understand who it is. Who is our true enemy and what we're really fighting against. Alright? What we're really fighting against. Yeah? This is why Ephesians 6 said, let's know plainly who it is we actually coming up against. Ephesians 6 and 10, where it reads, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, the plans, the wicked evil schemes of Esau. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. This is who we coming up against. Yeah? Your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, your DuPonts, your Oppenheimers, your Bushes, your Clintons, all right? Your Benjamin Netanyahu, all right? Your Trumps, your Donald Trump and your Bill Gates of hell, your Elon Musk, and what have you, so forth, yeah? The rulers of darkness of this world and against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. In high places, man. All right? Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Because there's a bunch of evil demonic forces that is within a bunch of people, a group of people, a race, a particular race of people that we are up against. All right, and we are bringing out this truth. And this truth, you know, it putting us in a spot. That's why the scripture say, I think that Romans 12, I believe. I think it's Romans 12 and 1, I believe. Yeah, Romans 12 and 1, where it reads, I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service, yeah? And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, that acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. All right, this is where it is here. This is why, you know, the apostles and whatnot will be asking us, you know, do you all understand the magnitude of what you all are in? What really awaits us pursuant to persecution? Because this thing is not a cakewalk, this thing is not a walk in the park. And sometimes I just have to remind myself that, you know, sometimes, you know, your mind might stray a bit, but you just have to really stay focused. You know, be sober-minded, as in being focused. Because before you say it, before you know it, hey, the persecution arises, you know. With all that, you know, we going about in this life here and whatnot, so forth, we have to come to the understanding at all times that, hey, the time quickly approaches in which we are going to be persecuted for this thing that we in here. That is why when they go to Isaiah 59 and 15, I think it's 59, yeah? 59 and 15, let me see. Isaiah 59 and 15, where it reads, yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. Yeah? He that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. There was no judgment in the sense of, you know, who would stand for the righteous, seeing that the righteous standing for righteousness. Who would condemn the unjust to bring justice unto the righteous? You understand? This is where it is here. This is what it is here. This is what we're coming up against here. Alright? This is what we're coming up against here. That's why when we go to Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, where it reads, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And there's where it is. He's being revealed. Esau Edom is being revealed. We in the time where Esau Edom is being revealed. Alright? The son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This is what it is with this man. That God complex that he has about himself. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that what we told it, that he might be revealed in his time. And this is what is taking place. He's being revealed. Hence what? Hence the heavy fight back by the way of murder. All right? He's being revealed, so he's fighting back by the way of murder. All right, by the way of shedding blood. This man is the harbinger of death. All right? For the mystery of iniquity doth already work in only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. Alright, so the only way this man is going to stop is when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai stops himself by the way of utter destruction. Yeah? And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. And this is what is taking place right now. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, which is the thermonuclear missiles, along with the chariot fire. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to bring his judgment upon him. Because the whole thing about this man here and why he is murdering these journalists, all right, is because these journalists is bringing out the truth as to what he is doing, what they are actually doing. And it's the same thing why they're going to come up against us. Because we are actually bringing it through. We are actually showing the world, all right, who this man truly is, and filtering every single thing concerning this man through the scriptures. Through the scriptures. You see, the journalists, they could only do it at a worldly standpoint. All right? They could only do it at a worldly standpoint. But we the prophets bringing it full circle spiritually, by the way of the scriptures. By the way of the scriptures. This is what it is. That's why I would leave with these two scriptures. First Esdras chapter 4, 38. First Esdras 4 and 38. As for the truth, it endureth, and is always strong. It liveth, and conquereth forevermore. And the truth will always prevail, Esau. It will always prevail. Last scripture, Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 34. But judgment only shall remain, truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong, and the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shewed, and good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall be of no rule. There's where it is. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Plain and simple. So I hope you always edify through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp signing out. Saying Kal Halayam, La Alahayanawa, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakaha Kodash, Barakata, Yahweh Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh Barakata Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Double salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so no more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites. Shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat. Your brother Kahan signing out, saying Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Wa Abad Babal. And remember, if they could murder journalists, who's to say they wouldn't murder us, the prophets? Shalom, Yashala.